We will be demonstrating the NEVI4 sickle scaler instrument, which is a modified version of the Montana jack. This instrument is a posterior sickle scaler which has a thin design that is for the removal of heavy tenacious calculus. This is to be used for supragingival calculus only. The angulation of the NEVI4 is 80 to 90 degrees to the long axis of the tooth. It has a total of 4 cutting edges, 2 on each end. This instrument is best utilized for interproximal supragingival calculus. First, it is important as a clinician to be in your personal protective equipment. Next, ensure that your patient has the proper protective equipment as well. Ensure that your field of operation is always at elbow level. We will start by holding our instrument with a modified pen grasp. When using the correct working end, the instrument will be parallel with the long axis of the tooth. The wrong end will go across the tooth. The mirror will be used in the clinician's non-dominant hand while working and be held parallel to the buccal mucosa. For the mandibular posterior surfaces, the clinician will be at 8 to 9 o'clock. After determining the correct working end, let's begin scaling. Notice how her fulcrum finger is a couple of teeth away from the tooth she will be working on. To begin, the clinician will start at the distal-facial line angle, entering the distal interproximal surface, then rotating the tip towards the facial surface to approach the mesial surface. She will constantly be rocking on her fulcrum with her wrist. Remember to not injure the tissue and be mindful of the tip when approaching the interproximal areas. The lower shank will tilt slightly towards the tooth surface for a 70 to 80 degree angle. An exploratory stroke is to be used until the clinician feels a calculus deposit, where the clinician will then use a working stroke to remove them. The strokes to be used on the distal surface is vertical, on the facial surface oblique, and the mesial surface vertical. Once the clinician feels she has removed the calculus deposits, she will check back with her ODU 1112 Explorer, which uses an exploratory stroke. Notice how the clinician uses her mirror for indirect vision, retraction, and transillumination. The instrument is placed at an 80 to 90 degree angle to the long axis of the tooth, and the lower shank tilts slightly towards the tooth surface for a 70 to 80 degree angle. The clinician sits at 11 o'clock for the posterior surfaces away from her. She will once again use the 1112 Explorer. Remember to always use air to see calculus. The clinician is sitting at 8 o'clock once again to reach the posterior buccal surfaces towards her. Remember to do a walking stroke, which enables you to overlap all surfaces. Keep the tip in contact at all times. Stay up on your fulcrum for calculus removal.